Welcome to Just Minding My Business Radio, where we are moving at the speed of God, learning what we didn't know we didn't know. I'm your host, Ida Crawford, so grab a pen and paper and get ready for information that you can use. Welcome to Just Minding My Business. I hope you had an amazing day. Today, our collaboration is all about social justice and mental illness. And today I have coming to the mic is Crystal Lenor, who is the founder and executive director of GenREVAMP. GenREVAMP is a social justice platform which advocates for social issues uniquely important to each generation. GenREVAMP also operates an after-school STEM education program for minorities entitled GenREVAMP for Tech. And GenREVAMP is located in Washington, D.C. Ms. Lenor is also a major advocate for mental health awareness in minority communities and early education in STEM for minorities. Well, welcome, Crystal, to the mic. I'm so happy that you're joining us today, and I can't wait to hear all about what GenREVAMP does for the community.
Thank you so much, Ida. I'm so excited to be on the show. Thank you for inviting me. We actually played phone tag for a minute. I'm glad that we finally got together because I'm so excited to be here. Thank you again for having me.
Absolutely. Well, in your introduction, we talked a little bit about what your company stands for, but can you elaborate more as to what GenREVAMP is all about?
Okay. Well, GenREVAMP is a social justice platform, and what we do is we advocate for social issues that are uniquely important to each generation. And when I say social issues, I mean civil and human rights issues. It was important to me to make this company such that the issues reflect like the times as far as like the generation that we're in, because like, for instance, mental health might be a big issue now, but a couple of years from now that might not be the issue. So GenREVAMP like evolves with like each generation. So we work as a project-based organization, meaning that our projects change every couple of years or so to reflect what's important in the community at that time.
Okay, so when you talk about the social justice platform in terms of what's happening right now, what is your main focus in the now things that are going on in social justice as it relates to generations?
Well, right now, with GenREVAMP, what we're actually doing is we're focusing on mental health awareness in minority communities and religion. I think as a lot of the listeners may know, the issue of mental health awareness is taboo in minority communities, especially that of African American communities. It's just something that we don't talk about. So what GenREVAMP is doing right now is we're actually running a campaign entitled God is in the Help. And what that is we hold free workshops where we actually go out and we educate pastors and ministers, clergy basically, on the signs and symptoms of mental illness. And then we connect them with different resources in the community as far as connecting them with psychiatrists and counselors. So why this is important is because when you think about it, where do African Americans go whenever they have any type of problem? The church is the pillar, the center of our community. So it's important that if this is where people are going for help, that the people who are in the capacity and positions to be offering who are offering like any type of counseling, it's important that they be able to recognize the signs and symptoms of mental illness.
Okay. So why are you so passionate about the mental health in general?
Okay. Well, for me, it's personal because I've actually had my own battles with mental illness. There was a time in my life where I was depressed. I've dealt with some social anxiety and some PTSD. I was in the Army for 8 years, and I went over to Iraq. So when I came back, I didn't even realize that I had PTSD, and it was a while before I even acknowledged it, because for me it was just like, no, never me, somebody else. I don't deal with stuff like that. But yeah, it was me, and one of my best experiences in life was when I finally reached out and I started seeking counseling, and counseling works, to anybody out there that's listening, counseling works. Don't be ashamed of it. It works. And as soon as I got that help that I needed, like, I started to soar in life. And, I kind of get emotional thinking about it, but yeah, it works. So that's why I'm so passionate about it.
And one of the things that I heard you say was shame. And I think that is the biggest piece of people reaching out to get the help that they need, because first of all, they're ashamed because this is happening to them. So how did you overcome that part of it to go get the help that you needed?
For me, when I started to see it affecting other areas in my life, when I mentioned the social anxiety piece of it, there was a time when, I was just really kind of closed in and I wasn't speaking to anyone. And, when you're in that state, that type of state, like, you're losing valuable communication skills. And, just within myself, I was always like a go-lucky type of person, very, I wouldn't just say, I'm kind of an introvert, but, I was a little bit more talkative than, I was when I was in that state at that time. But for me, I just knew that something was wrong and I wasn't at my best self. So that's what really made me say, hey, you need to talk to somebody. And, again, like, as soon as I started, like, seeking that help, like, my whole life changed. And I think it's important that people anyone that's listening to this show right now, that when I was talking about the God is in the help piece, when I first started this campaign, it was important for me to let people know that, hey, no, I'm not trying to X out the spiritual counseling at all, because that's important. What I'm saying is that God has manifested himself in the form of counselors and psychiatrists that want to help. So at that point, when a pastor or a minister or whoever is administering any type of counseling services, when they get to that point where they feel like, hey, you know what, this person might be in need of a little bit more than I can offer, then you reach out to those people that God has surrounded us with in the form of, counselors and psychiatrists that want to help and, assist you in leading that person to wholeness and healness. And so that's what it's all about.
Yes, because, it's very, very important that people live their best life. Every day it's all about being better than you were yesterday. And for someone suffering with mental health issues, that's truly a struggle. That's
definitely.
A struggle. And in the past, the taboo around mental health was shameful. It was, families wanted to hide it, which made you, the person that was dealing with that situation, which made them feel shameful because everybody around them was making them feel that way, pretty much. And
well, you want to know something? A lot of that deals with how the media projects it. Also, padded rooms, people in straitjackets and things like that. That's not really what it is. It's everyday people dealing with real life issues.
Mhm. I agree, and I noticed lately in the media there's been a turn of how the media itself is starting to look at it, and they're also, talking about famous people, and you're hearing some of your stars speak out about it. So it's definitely, I'm hearing lately around the country, it's definitely an issue that everybody wants to look at and do something about.
It's interesting that you mentioned that because when I was really going through, I was listening to Kid Cudi real heavy, and he's a rapper, and he's dealt with depression, and I believe suicide too. But, some of his songs, really helped me get through like a lot of things I was going through. So music is very therapeutic and healing, so I think that it's important when you have like celebrities and stars and just people who have like a large platform in general using it for the positive, because they influence so many people in a positive direction and upliftment also.
Mhm. I agree. I know for me, music is very therapeutic for me, because if I'm feeling low or whatever, and I put on some music, I admittedly quickly change my whole attitude, because I think mental health affects all of us.
Oh yeah. And again, a lot of people, when they think about it, sometimes they think about it from the standpoint of it has to be, well, all of it is serious, not to like downplay any of it, but people think about things like schizophrenia and bipolar. No, it could just be depression sometimes, and this is something that everyone deals with at some point in their life. I think that we've all felt down at some point, probably some more than others, but it's just important that you're getting the help that you need. And I think also just getting back to the basics, just being a friend to people and listening to people, when they're going through things, because sometimes people just need a kind and compassionate listening ear, just somebody to say, I understand and I care.
Absolutely. And I think we had that conversation about just loving on each other, because the way I see it, you either coming out of something, getting ready to go into something, or currently in it. And it's those three different scenarios, and depending on what life hands you, sometimes we don't know how we're going to respond to it.
Oh yeah. Love is important. That's actually a company value of mine. When you see with the lenses of love, you're able to clearly see how to be of service to others. And so that's something that's very important to me and to my organization, is to with everything that we do, always approach things in love and people, always love on people, even in disagreement. Learn to kindly disagree with people. Sometimes people just handle people so roughly. I'm from North Carolina originally, and I think you could see this anywhere, but I've just never in my life seen so many broken people in spirit. And a lot of this comes from the way we deal with people in general. You have to be very careful with how you deal with people, because sometimes it takes people a long time to get over stuff, and sometimes they don't ever get back right again.
Absolutely, and especially if you're in a position where people look up to you in a leadership
Mhm.
role or things like
Mhm.
that. A lot of times, what you say and how you treat another person has a huge effect on them.
Oh yeah. It's kind of interesting that we're talking about this because I was actually telling someone the other day that we live in a bullying society. You watch a lot of these reality TV shows and you have people trying to be like the next great Beyonce or Jay-Z or whoever it is they want to be, and these judges like literally like tear these people apart sometimes. And it's just like, I don't think that all that is necessary. I don't think that you should, I don't, really believe that you should be soft. I believe that you have to be, strong in life to get to where you're going. But, is it really necessary to like just tear somebody down to the griddle, just to make a point, because sometimes, again, like, you're breaking people's spirit, and sometimes some people just don't recover.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't mean that they're soft. It just means that they're human.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Before we move any further, because I have another issue that I want to bring up about this, but can you share your contact information with everybody?
Oh, yes. First, if you ever want to find out anything at all about GenREVAMP, you could go to www.genrevamp.org, and that's GenREVAMP.org. You can go there and find out everything that you want to know. And if you would like to email me, it's simply crystal@genrevamp.org, and that's Crystal spelled Crystal.
Okay. Now, just to piggyback off what you just said, one of the things that irks me to no end is the political, when the campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God, I just hate when it's time to hear all of that mess because it's like everybody is pointing the finger at the next candidate.
Oh, yeah. Politics in America is nasty. And, and again, a bullying society, I think that we're showing our and not even the kids, because adults are affected by this, you don't have to tear people down to get a point across. You don't have to, lie on people's characters or whatever you need to do to get a point across. I think that it just sends the wrong message in how to get ahead in life.
I think so, too. And as a parent, most of us, teach our children not to do that.
Mm-hmm. But yet we enforce it as a society.
Absolutely. So it's like, really?
Yeah,
that's one of the really biggest bullying platforms there is politics.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's unfortunate because, it's just like you said, like our kids are looking at this, And another thing that I've noticed, too, in our society is that someone can have a particular viewpoint about something, and then if the masses don't agree with it, everybody wants to tear this person apart. Well, what happened to agreeing just to disagree sometimes? Everybody does not have to think the way you think. I feel like, as long as you're not being disrespectful or you're not being hateful and putting out like hate speech or, or doing something that's going to incite some type of violence to hurt someone, who cares what you think? You are entitled to feel how you want to feel. And again, that goes back to a bullying society, where people just kind of like want to bully you into a corner or tear you down when you don't, think certain things or act a certain way. And so I just believe in letting people be. That's where the beauty is in individuality.
And it goes back to not judging. because you judging people for what they think and what they believe in. It goes back to that, and it also goes back to the big old L word, love.
Oh, yeah. Love, 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 love. It's so important.
It is.
And I wanted to say this, too. Love is a company value with GenREVAMP, but another important value with GenREVAMP is inclusion. We're inclusive to all people, because having a platform where you're addressing like different issues, that means that you have to go into things with like a open heart, because I represent all people and things that they stand for. So, we're inclusive to all groups, and I just want to say that too. This isn't just a platform for minorities. This is a platform for everyone to stand and have a voice when it comes to like different issues in the community.
Yes, and I think that's important for everybody to have a voice, because I think in terms of our country, I think that if everybody had a voice, that we could probably fix so much. Because everybody is got different walks, they're going through different things, and when you bring all of this information into one place, it will allow you to really look at all sides of the coin except for the ones you want to look at.
You know what I think is important for people to always remember is that we're not going to always agree, and so we have to agree to not disagree, but at some point we have to find a middle ground, a consensus, to where everyone is, getting their points and their viewpoints across, but it's just about finding common ground. And I think that that's what the problem is in society, is that everybody wants to get the upper hand. Well, you can't have the upper hand all the time,
Right.
and sometimes it's not even about having the upper hand. It's about just coming together.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the STEM program. That's one of the things that I'm really passionate about as well.
I know.
I'm into the technology thing, and have been into that for all of my life. And, I work with the Maryland Business Roundtable for Education, which is a huge supporter of the STEM program. So tell me...
Thank you for your service there.
You're welcome. So tell me how your company supports STEM awareness in the minority communities.
Okay. GenREVAMP also operates a program entitled GenREVAMP Protect. Now, this is the only permanent program that we have within GenREVAMP. So GenREVAMP Protect is an after-school STEM education program where we go out and we teach kids about STEM, different disciplines within STEM. And the program is actually launching the fall of this year, so 2018. And we're going to be teaching some kids at a local high school here in D.C. How to work in the capacity of a front-end web developer. So the program is just starting out. After this first semester with it, we're going to add some math in there, get some engineering in there. So we're going to build out the whole program to encompass all elements of STEM. But this is important. I hear a lot of people talking about how minorities are underrepresented in STEM. Well, let me tell you something. I want everybody to hear this. We're underrepresented now. We need to get in and encourage our kids to take advantage of STEM careers if that's what they're interested in. Because if we get behind the STEM curve, the technology curve, we're not going to catch up. And so this is why it's important. We need to be creating. We need more engineers. We need more scientists. We need more people to find cures to some of these diseases that we have out here. So it's just important. So I want to put the tools in these kids' hands because they deserve it. I just want to create opportunity where there is no opportunity and open up a world view that they might not ever be exposed to. So, getting the tools in their hands early. And that way, if they want to go off to college and pursue these careers, they have like a leg up. They know what's going on. They'll be prepared for those upper level sciences and maths and things of that nature.
Absolutely. And the program that I work with, that's one of the things that we talk about, the classes and the things that they need to be taking at the high school level in order to qualify them to be in the STEM program at the colleges, because there's certain classes that they need to take.
And you want to know something? That's like a big problem right now. One of the biggest problems is that you have a lot of African Americans that go off to college and they pursue degrees in STEM, but because they don't have a solid foundation in some of their foundational courses, such as science and their math, they struggle at the collegiate level because they aren't prepared. So that's what a big component of my STEM program focuses on is college preparation also. So that's something that we're really proud of and excited about going into this new school year with this program.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just, being able to actually create at the high school level. I noticed that a lot of schools are doing, more projects, more hands-on projects, because I think that's important to when you're taking the algebras, when you're taking the trigonometry and all that good stuff. How can you apply that? How can I see that working?
Exactly.
And to me, that makes you more interested in it, because I know when I was math wasn't my greatest subject, but because where I sat, A and B didn't equal nothing. But if you teach them how to apply algebra, what can algebra be used for? How can that make a difference in your day-to-day?
Exactly. Applying it to their world, and that's another component of our program too. How does STEM relate to your world? A big problem with STEM, especially minority communities, is that a lot of kids don't understand how it applies to their world. Well, if you use Instagram every day and you use Facebook every day, this is a part of your world. So what is it that you could create that's probably similar to this or different to this that you think some other kids might use or somebody else might use in your community? So just getting them to really understand, that they are utilizing different technologies every day or they're utilizing different algebraic equations or whatever it might be, and just applying it to their world so that they can see that, hey, I actually have a place in this whole thing, and I can actually affect change in some way.
Well, I love it. I love what everything that GenREVAMP stands for. You are definitely an organization that is about empowering people at all levels, which is very, very important, because people can't be their best without support sometimes. And I know, for me, I need help sometimes. We all need help sometimes, and it's okay to ask for that help.
Nothing wrong with asking for help. Nobody ever does it alone. If they say they did, they're lying.
You got that right.
You got to give credit where credit is due. I hate when I hear people say I did it all by myself. You might have did a lot of the leg work, but at some point you probably had somebody come along and rub your back and say you could do it. Somebody did something somewhere.
Absolutely, absolutely. So again, Crystal, can you please give us your information again?
Okay, yes, definitely. GenREVAMP, that's www.genrevamp.org. That's GenREVAMP. If you're looking to get in contact with me directly, it's Crystal at GenREVAMP.org. That's Crystal, CRYSTAL, at GenREVAMP.org.
Okay. Well, before we wrap up, is there anything that you would like for our audience to think about, or just empower them with?
Well, first I want to say a little something about GenREVAMP. We love people. So when you think about GenREVAMP, even if you don't know what we're working on, because we're a project-based organization, one thing that always resonates, that I want to resonate when you think about GenREVAMP, is that we love people and we love you. And just love one another. I think that can't be said enough or understated. Just love one another. I think we need more love in the world, especially given the state of our country. It seems to be a lot of division. Just love and cherish people in your life, so that, that I guess that's my end of message. Just love people.
Yeah.
And don't ever forget to tell those closest in your life that you love them, because you never know when they might be gone.
Absolutely, absolutely. Love is the answer to so much.
Oh yeah.
So much.
Love
even
drives out hate.
Yes, it does, and it's the only thing that drives out hate.
Oh yeah.
For sure. Well, I am so happy that you stopped by and shared GenREVAMP with my audience. We truly appreciate you. And just one more time before we close this conversation, can you give us your information again?
Okay. That's GenREVAMP.org. That's www.genrevamp.org. And if you'd like to reach me directly, you can reach me at Crystal at GenREVAMP.org. That's CRYSTAL at GenREVAMP.org. And I want to say thank you, Ida, for having me on the show. It was a good conversation. We always talk good. And please have me back again anytime.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. My audience is going to be hearing a lot from you.
Thank you for what you're doing in the community. You're doing so many great things, so just keep up the work that you're doing also.
Thank you, Crystal. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. And you will definitely be hearing from Miss Crystal again. So
thank you. Thank you.
This show is brought to you by the amazing women of A Sister Circle Empowerment Network, ASIN LLC, where we are never in competition, but always in collaboration. And our valuable sponsors, Prodigy Accounting Service, Next Generation Accounting, to get you where you need to be. Contact them at prodigyact1@yahoo.com or online at www.fli-inc.com. Prodigy Accounting Service, Next Generation Accounting, to get you where you need to be. Contact them at prodigyact1@yahoo.com or online at www.fli-inc.com. Ready to plan for your retirement? Contact Game Plan for Retirement. Call 410-902-0464 and schedule a free consultation. That's Game Plan for Retirement, 410-902-0464. Interested in becoming a sponsor for Just Minding My Business 24/7 Radio? Or would you like to know what a Sister Circle Empowerment Network, ASIN LLC, is all about? Contact us today at asistercircle@gmail.com and visit our website at asistercircle.org. That's ASISTAS circle.org. Contact us today at asistercircle@gmail.com and visit our website at asistercircle.org. That's ASISTAS circle.org. Voiceovers for A Sister Circle Empowerment Network provided by Ruth Haskins, voiceover actor. To fulfill your professional voiceover needs or to receive her current professional demo, contact Ruth at 443-620-4115.
Thank you for tuning in to Just Minding My Business Radio. I'm your host, Ida Crawford. We hope you enjoyed the show and appreciate you stopping by. Many blessings to you and yours.